The first thing you learn when working aboard an interspecies diplomatic vessel is that nothing is ever truly accidental. Not the seating arrangements, not the security clearances, not even who ends up sharing a corridor. The Harmonic Convergence was the largest joint species diplomatic ship ever constructed, a floating city of steel and living crystal drifting between contested star systems. Humans had been invited aboard only 5 years earlier, after we'd proven ourselves stubborn enough to survive first contact and clever enough to reverse engineer alien drive systems in record time. I was there because of a translation error. Or at least, that's what my official file said. In reality, I had been assigned to study the Varelian language, a species known for their strict hierarchy, telepathic undertones in speech, and an alarming habit of smiling when they were about to outmaneuver someone politically. Which brings me to Commander Lysara Viral. And the day the door locked. The beginning. A mistake. It was 2300 station time when I returned to my assigned quarters on Deck 12. Artificial gravity hummed beneath my boots, and the corridor lights shimmered in Varelian bioluminescent patterns, soft blues and pale violets that shifted like breathing skin. I palmed the access panel. The door slid open, and someone was already inside. She stood near the central viewport, her silhouette outlined by distant starlight. Tall, nearly 7 feet, her posture elegant, armor segments resting along her shoulders like liquid metal. Varelian skin wasn't a single color. It refracted light, shifting between silver and faint iridescent hues depending on mood. When she turned, her eyes glowed faintly teal. Commander Lysara, second in command of the Varelian diplomatic escort, one of the most politically dangerous individuals aboard the ship. "Oh," she said smoothly, tilting her head. "This is not my quarters." I froze. "You're on Deck 12, Section C," I replied carefully. "Commander quarters are on Deck 9. She looked around as though genuinely surprised. How inconvenient. I reached for my wrist console. "I'll call maintenance to reassign." The door behind me slid shut and locked. The sound was subtle, a soft metallic seal, but I'd been aboard long enough to recognize it. Manual override engaged from inside the room. I looked back at her. She was smiling. Not embarrassed. Not confused. Smiling. That's when I knew this wasn't an accident. The middle, why me? "Commander," I began slowly, "there appears to be a security malfunction." "There does," she agreed. She stepped closer. Up close, Varelian physiology was mesmerizing. Crystalline ridges tracing her collarbones, faint pulses of internal light beneath translucent skin. Their species had evolved under a binary star system. They literally absorbed radiation as sustenance. Humans, by comparison, must have looked painfully fragile. "I requested these quarters," she said calmly. My stomach dropped. "You requested my quarters?" "Yes." "Why?" She studied me in silence. Varelians didn't blink often. When they did, it meant intense cognitive processing. "You are Specialist Adrian Vale," she said finally. "Human linguistic analyst." "That's correct. You are also the only human aboard who successfully decoded layered Varelian subharmonics." "That was classified." "How do you know that?" She stepped even closer. "Because I ensured it was tested." The air felt thinner. "You tested me?" She gave a small, approving nod. "Your species possesses unpredictable adaptive cognition. The Council wishes to evaluate its usefulness." "By locking yourself in my quarters?" Her smile widened faintly. "By observing how you respond under pressure." I laughed, a nervous, human reflex. "Commander, with respect, this is highly irregular." "Yes," she agreed again. "It is." The lights dimmed automatically to privacy mode. My pulse spiked. Commander, I said more firmly, unlock the door. She tilted her head. Why? Because this could be misinterpreted. That, she replied softly, is precisely the point. The truth beneath the smile. Varelians communicated on multiple levels. Tone carried surface meaning. Bioluminescent fluctuations conveyed emotional subtext. Micro-vibrational shifts in their voices, nearly imperceptible, signaled intent. Most humans couldn't detect it. I could. And right now, she wasn't amused. She was nervous. Someone is listening, I said quietly. Her eyes sharpened. You perceive it. The council? I guessed. She didn't answer directly. Instead, she crossed to the wall console and placed her palm against it. A faint pulse of light spread outward, distorting nearby sensors. We have 4.2 minutes, she said. For what? For you to decide whether your species survives the coming vote. My brain stumbled over that. Excuse me? The Galactic Assembly convenes in 17 hours. A motion has been proposed. What motion? To classify humanity as a destabilizing variable. Cold crept into my spine. That's political language for preemptive containment, she finished. Containment how? Orbital blockade. Resource restriction. Military oversight. A cage. For an entire planet. Why are you telling me this? I demanded. Because, she said softly, I oppose the motion. I stared at her. And they want to see if you're right, I whispered. Yes. The room felt suddenly too small. So this is a test, I said slowly. You lock yourself in here. See how I react. If I panic, if I become aggressive, that proves humanity is unstable. She watched me carefully. And if I remain calm, then I argue your species is capable of strategic restraint. I exhaled sharply. You're gambling Earth's future on whether I lose my temper in a locked room? Her expression softened, barely. I am gambling my command. That surprised me more than anything else. You could lose rank for this? I could lose far more. Silence stretched between us. I could demand she open the door. I could call security. I could escalate. Instead, I did the only thing that felt sane. I sat down on my bed and folded my hands. You have 3.1 minutes, I said calmly. Ask whatever you need to ask. Her bioluminescence flickered brighter, surprise. Why do you choose compliance? It's not compliance, I replied. It's control. You want to see if humanity panics under perceived confinement. She took another step closer. And do you? Of course we do, I admitted. But panic doesn't mean we're incapable of reason. And reason means recognizing when someone locking a door isn't your enemy. She studied me intensely. You trust me,